everybody, my name is Jo and I love to read. Today I'm going to be doing another reading vlog. I actually have a bit to talk about in this first update, which is kind of cool because I worried a little bit when I started doing these vlogs again that I wouldn't have enough to talk about weekly. As it is, I'm kind of not super following a strict schedule because I had intended to pick up a couple of days after I left off and it's been about a week, but that's fine, I don't mind. I have finished reading Saga Volume 3 of by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. I love this one again. It was super fun. I just love this series so much. If you're ever thinking about trying to get into comics, I would definitely give Saga a go. In this volume, we actually get a little snippet of what Alana's side of the family is about. So Saga is about these two people who fell in love but they're on opposing sides of war, got pregnant, had a baby, and so it starts off literally when Alana's giving birth, and all these volumes are just about them trying to survive while they've pretty much got all the top tier enemies coming after them. And it's just so, it's like wholesome, but it's not at the same time because there's a lot of swear words and nudity and not suitable for work stuff. But it's also I think the core of it is good because I this is not intending to be like a diary about why this series is really great, but it just kind of hit me then that I really like it because even though it does contain a lot of content that is not suitable for work, I find that the values of the main characters, because they just want to be together and raise their daughter and be in love and have happy times, and that's what they're trying to strive for. But I also love that it actually does show the reality of what it is like to be humans, or not humans because this is in space so there's all kinds of creatures, but just what the reality of, I guess, being like a sentient being. I think that's what we want to say. Then I picked up A Feast for Crows again. I kept reading that one by George R. R. Martin. I'm not finished. I'm this far along. So I'm getting really close actually. I'm up to 735 and oh man, I'm actually so close. 776. Okay, this changes my plans. I actually didn't know how close. 735 to 776. Like 40-ish pages. Okay, I think I'm actually, let's finish this. This changes my reading plans a bit, which I'll talk about in a sec. It doesn't so much, it just changes the like urgency of the plans. I'm still having a good time with this. I'm not in love with it, but I'm really interested to see where the characters go, and I'm glad to be following the certain characters that we are. Then I picked up Frostbite. Whilst I'm still in the middle of this, I'm trying to remember what the catalyst was for it. I've been wanting to reread it for a little bit ever since. So this is the second book in the Vampire Academy series. I think it was because I finished Saga and I felt like I needed something like a palette cleanser almost before going into something else because Saga is so good. The writing style in this is okay. I don't often read a lot of YA anymore, particularly older YA, because this was published a long time ago. That's the last bit I flagged. So I literally got that far and that was it. So I'm probably just going to put that back in the shelf where it lives, not in my TBR, and go from there. Now, the only other thing I want to say is that I got a book in the mail and I really want to read it right now. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And I was going to start reading it tonight, but to see that I'm so close to finishing A Feast of Crows, I'm actually going to do that instead, and then I'm going to pick up this book, which is The Lost World by Michael Crichton. So this is the second book to the Jurassic Park series. I really have so high hopes for this and I'm trying not to, but I just can't. I really want it to be as good as the first book. I loved the first one so much. Look at the cover, isn't that so cool? I'm going to annotate this one too, and I'm actually going to use up some of the ones that I haven't been using at the moment. So the colour scheme, which these tabs come from this one. I don't like to use more than 4 colours because I like this patterny thing. So that's left these two, and arguably orange isn't my favourite colour in the world and yellow is okay if it goes with certain things. But I think together on this plain-ish colour with not a lot of other colours, I think will look good. And then I also have, because I haven't finished tabbing this, but obviously this has run out, I've got another set of these. So I've got a lot of these particular ones to use. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to annotate. Look at the back. Something has survived. Isn't that just like, ugh, ugh. it hits you. Look at this edition. It's got like a map in it and it's got all the dinosaurs. I got it off eBay for $17 only. It was such a steal. So anyways, I'm gonna go now. I've got to finish A Feast for Crows and then I'm probably gonna pick up The Lost World. I'm really hoping that I'll finish this tonight or tomorrow so I can start this because I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for watching this clip. I will chat to you guys in the next one. Hey guys, I'm in the same room as before, just a different angle. I was going to try and film outside, but my neighbours are within earshot, so I kind of don't want to do that. Haven't really worked out the confidence to do that. Now, I knew that I was going to forget in my initial update that I actually forgot about the audiobook that I'm reading, which is Prince Harry. No, it's not what it's called. It's called Spare by Prince Harry, his biography, and I'm enjoying it so far. I have been reading it for a fairly long time, but just kind of on and off, dipping in and out, and I had a break from it for a while, but I've recently, over the last week or so, I've come back into it, coupled with the fact that when we've been going for a walk, me and Miles, I haven't really been wanting to think in my own head, so it's been nice to do something different. But I have about 6 hours left on that, which is great because it's a really long audiobook and I'm actually listening to it on 0.09 speed, so a little bit shorter than a little bit longer than normal, but I'm having a good time. I enjoy listening to celebrity biographies narrated in their own voice because it's kind of like they're talking to us. When I've told people that I'm reading Spare, either people haven't cared or their reaction has been like, oh, why did he need to put out a book? He's wanting to get away from the publicity, but then he's decided to put out a book, so that's literally publicity, but I kind of see it as him getting able to tell his own story from his own point of view, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing because I didn't really understand that people who put out biographies for royal people are not necessarily correct. So I had no idea that whole thing kind of existed. And as for people, like, I know my uncle actually said to me, does Prince Harry actually have problems worth talking about? Because if he was sick or something, he'd instantly have the world's best doctors at hand. And yeah, that's true, but it doesn't mean that his struggles aren't real. They're just different. I'm finding it really interesting so far, but I'm dying to get up to the bits with him and Meghan, but we're not there yet, which kind of makes sense because his life with Meghan, it hasn't just begun because I know they're married and they have kids and stuff, but in the scheme of his life, he's obviously lived a life before her, so I'm enjoying that as well. Now, I have finished A Feast for Crows by George R. R. Martin, so that one's all done. I finished it, was it last night? Friday night? No. I finished it Friday. It was Thursday night that stuff went crazy, so sort of that, I think, day after I did my update, I read a part that was just like, oh my god, I'm really glad that I decided that I saw how short I had to go and decided to start reading it before to finish it before I picked up my other book, because shit went down, oh my god. And I'm not gonna, so I won't tell you who's alive at this point and who it happened to because that would be a spoiler, but it was just amazing payoff. It was so good. It's interesting though, actually reading the end of this, because there's a little note from George at the back. That's really weird to call him George. There's a note from George R. R. Martin at the back talking about, because there's a lot of characters in here that are missing. It only talks, there is like a very sort of short range of characters that this book is about, and I'd noticed it at the beginning, but by this point I just kind of adapted to it, and that's because he actually had so much to write that he decided, instead of telling half the story with all the characters, he'd tell all the story with half the characters, and then the next book, A Dance with Dragons, it's actually the same timeline as this, but it's with all the other characters that are not mentioned, which I don't mind. I don't know if I would have preferred it the other way, but then I think maybe there would have been a pacing issue, because for me, what I seem to find with George R. R. Martin is that the first half is a bit kind of like, yeah, this is okay, I'm still enjoying it, but it's not epic. And then the second half is just crazy with stuff. So I feel like he probably made the best decision for his writing style so that things were not boring. Now I have moved on to The Lost World. I am not very far through it at all, because I do actually have to sit and probably concentrate on it, but I enjoy it. It's not that it's hard to read scientifically wise, it's just that he talks about a lot of theories and themes that I really enjoy. That's part of the reasons why I super enjoy these books, but that means I have to kind of probably concentrate. And I'll tell you, if you guys don't follow me on IG, I did a post about it, but the quote that I used actually was, "The decline of the dinosaurs allowed mammals, including us, to flourish. And that leads us to wonder whether the disappearance of the dinosaurs is going to be repeated sooner or later by us as well." I love the thoughts in this. I love that it has science and maths and scientific theories, and that dinosaurs are so unknown and they're so cool, but they also pose a lot of questions about us as a species and how long we may have to live or not. So I'm very not off the way through it at all, but it's really, I'm enjoying what I have read so far. So alrighty, I will chat to you guys in the next update. Hey guys, this is going to be my last update of the vlog. Koopy is here. I am not very far through The Lost World yet. I'm still up to there. I've been tabalabbing a bit still. So I haven't been doing much of that because I started reading something on my Kindle again. Lately, Miles has been having bottles still, and he has only been having bottles for like 5-10 minutes or so, but he gets distracted easily. So I haven't been reading any books while he's been feeding, and I really sort of wanted to start doing that again instead of watching telly. So I picked up my Kindle and I ended up picking a book that is probably going to surprise people who have watched my TBR video way back when. I'm actually reading Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. Isn't that so cool that I can display the cover? I don't know whether it's going to be any good to try and, the angle seems weird to me. I might just insert a picture, but I am up to page 139. I am starting to not care about it again though, so we will see how long I will be reading it. I don't know what it is about one of the main characters, Althea. I don't know what it is about Althea, who is one of the main characters, and I'm still going to keep this pretty spoiler free, just talk about sort of beginning blurb stuff that anybody does. But basically, she is a woman who has had her birthright taken away from her because she was born female and not male. And that sounds like something that should really interest me, but it doesn't. There's something about Althea for me that is just unlikable, and I don't know what it is. I wanted to read on my Kindle, and I just randomly tried to catch up to where I was because I was reading it on paperback back when I was originally picking it up. And I read ahead, was kind of interested, went back to where I was up to and kept reading. I'm more interested in Kenneth. I don't think that he's necessarily a good person because he's a pirate and he does shady things apparently, but I find him more interesting than Althea. Look at that. I really want to try and keep the baby off the social media. I don't know what it is about Althea for me that I'm just not, I find her unlikable. I don't know why. Can anybody enlighten me? Because her story seems like something that I would be really interested in, and it's just not. So I did have a brief interest in Ship of Magic, and I was like, cool, this is going to be my read. I'll just put The Lost World on hold. And now all of a sudden I'm not caring anymore because we're still in Althea's point of view. Maybe if I push through enough to get up to Kenneth's POV, then things will pick up. At this stage, I'm definitely not putting it down properly, but it may be something that's going to take me like 6 months or more to read when I can handle it. For now, I'm going back to the Lost World. That's what updates you will get from my next vlog. I'm not going to be doing one I'm not going to start one between now and the end of the month because it's too close and that's going to be redundant. And I might wait until I'm sort of fairly-ish close or something kind of crazy happens in the Lost World, because I feel like reading has slowed a little bit for me now. I'm kind of really obsessed with Teen Mum, the reality TV show based in America. I got Paramount Plus, and so I was watching 16 and Pregnant, and then realized that Teen Mums is the continuation of their stories. So I'm really loving it. It's kind of like a double dose of I'm really grateful for where I am and to have the partner that I do have, because a lot of the dads are not very great in that show. But it's also something that I can relate to at the moment. So like grateful for my life, but also I can relate. Anyways, I'm gonna go. This vlog is finished now, but thank you guys so much for watching my channel again. I hope you're enjoying it and the baby content isn't too irritating, but that's kind of my life at the moment. So I try and keep it to a minimum on the videos, but I also sort of like the true life too. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next clip. Bye. Or in the next video.